In 1819, one of the most famous court cases took place, McCulloch versus Maryland. The court case answered two questions. Did Congress have the authority to establish a bank, and did Maryland law on constitutionality interfere with Congress's powers? Now you are about to experience the court case. Here's your mill, sir.
I'm not paying these taxes.
I don't like the fact that the Second National Bank is in Maryland and doesn't have to pay taxes. It's unconstitutional. I need to find a way to run the Second National Bank out of town. Oh, I know what to do. I'll make a law that says if a bank is not chartered by Maryland, then they are going to be taxed the money that they are giving out.
We are not paying you your taxes because it's unconstitutional that you are going to put a tax on us.
Let's just settle this in court.
Order in my court. Order in my court. Okay, we are here to discuss the case between Maryland and McCulloch. Maryland believes that the bank is unconstitutional and is not right that the bank will not pay the taxes that Maryland has imposed. The Second National Bank believes that it is unconstitutional that the state of Maryland is making them pay a tax. Let's hear from the Second National Bank first.
Thank you, Judge. The Second National Bank of America is constitutional because the legislative and executive branch have been doing their jobs. The two branches have already set up the bank in Philadelphia. It's already a historical precedent and it proves it in the Constitution. Congress approved the First National Bank and the Second National Bank.
Just because Congress approved of the bank does not mean that it's constitutional. It means that its constitutionality has not been charged in court yet. And I'd like to add that as a state made by the Constitution, we are ultimately sovereign.
No, Maryland. People in your state gave you the power to create the Constitution. Therefore, people are sovereign, not the states. The people created the Constitution, therefore, the Constitution is, in a sense, supreme over the states. The states do not have ultimate sovereignty.
The Constitution did not have to be ratified by all people, according to the Constitution, Article 7. The Constitution had to be ratified by 9 out of the 13 states, and the Constitution was not ratified by a national vote nor by state legislatures that would be representatives of many communities within the states, but by state political conventions. To add on this, black men, slaves, and women are excluded from the political process. This means that the whole people did not have ratified the Constitution.
Would you like to bring up another point, Marshall?
I would like to bring up the definition of the elastic cause. Elastic cause, noun, a statement in the U.S. Constitution, Article 1, Section 8, granting Congress the power to pass all laws necessary and proper for carrying out the enumerated list of powers. So in order to execute delegated powers, Congress shall deem what's necessary and proper.
May I add something? There is a general power given to Congress to make all laws that will enable to carry their powers into effect. There are no limits pointed out. They are not restrained or controlled from making any law, however oppressive in its operation, which they may think necessary to carry powers into effect. Settle down. Order, order. Let's turn to the jury to see the verdict. All in favor of Maryland? All in favor of McCulloch?
U.S. History News. You've just witnessed one of the most famous cases in history, but before you witnessed the case, there were two questions that were asked. Did Congress have the power to establish a bank, and did Maryland law unconstitutionally interfere with Congress's powers? The answer to the first question was yes. The Congress did have the power under one constitution to establish a bank. And the second answer was yes. Maryland did not have the power to tax on the bank, which interfered with Congress's powers. The significance of this case is that now federal government can do whatever they feel like doing, whereas before the Congress was unsure what they could do. Supreme Court ruled that what we should pay attention to when deciding what Congress is allowed to do is the elastic clause. It says that Congress can do anything necessary and proper to carry out its express powers. It is said by the court that this clause is what allowed Congress to set up a bank of the U.S., even though the Constitution says Congress may set up a bank. Congress can do whatever it wants as long as the Constitution doesn't say it can't. This is the significance of this case. Thank you for joining us this evening. This is your U.S. History News.